So you can make this dough ahead of time, the night before if you like, and just add a pinch of salt, whisk that through, and 250 grams of cold cubed butter. This has to be fridge cold, it's very important. And what you want to do is just coat the butter in that flour so it doesn't stick to your fingers, and you're just going to rub it into that flour, as you can see here, just using your fingertips until it begins to resemble coarse breadcrumbs. So it should resemble breadcrumbs, and just make a well in the centre, add 1 beaten egg. I also have 100 millilitres of ice cold water, and you're just going to add it a little at a time. You might not need all of it, and just sort of cut it through your dough. It shouldn't be sticky, but you should be able to just about combine this. Adding a little more as necessary. So I'm just working to combine my dough, and I'm just going to cut this sort of not quite in half, but almost in half, and the larger piece is going to be reserved for the base of my pastry, and this is going to be the lid. And this is an important step. You're going to wrap your dough for at least 30 minutes and just place it in the fridge until it's cold. I'm making mine the next day, so you can leave this overnight, make it ahead of time. Now for your apples, once you have peeled and cored your apples, you want to slice them into sort of half centimetre thick pieces. So this will just make sure that they cook in the oven without being hard when they come out, but they shouldn't be entirely soft and mushy either. You want them to hold their shape. I'm using a mix of bramley and cooking apples. I'm using approximately 2 kilos worth of apples, because I really like mine to be stuffed with apple. Once you have sliced all your apples, just give it a final douse with some lemon. I'm going to add a good amount of cinnamon powder. And I would suggest you taste one of your apples before you do this, and just add a little sugar depending on how sweet you want your pie to be. Because my apples are relatively sweet, I don't really need to add too much sugar. And just give that all a really good mix. I almost forgot to mention, but you also want to add a couple tablespoons of cornstarch, and then just really coat this through, and you can set this aside. The cornstarch just helps your apples not become really runny and make your pastry soggy in the oven. And you can just pile your apples into your pastry. I like mine to be really heaped in there. And I love to add just a few flecks of butter. I feel like it just makes my pie taste so much better at the end, and it just seeps through those layers. And I'm really looking forward to this pie. Now, I'm atrocious at rolling out pie dough. As you can see, it's just, I never get this beautiful circular shape that everyone else can get, which is why I didn't bother showing how I roll mine. So the lid, I'm just sort of draping on. And that overhang that you have over here, we're just going to overlap it together with the overhang from the bottom of your dough, and you're just going to curl it together like so. Just curling it together. Now that I've got this all pressed together, these edges, I'm just going to try my best to make a sort of crimped design out of it. It doesn't really have to be perfect, you don't even have to do this. And one thing I love to do with any leftover dough I have is just sort of make a little apple design in the centre with a leaf, because I find it really cute. And then you just want to cut some slits in your pie so all that steam can escape. Brush the top with some beaten egg, and this is just going to make your pie a beautiful golden colour when it's in the oven, and it gives it the shiny top, so make sure you really give it a good glaze. Give your pie a final sprinkle of sugar, and this will just sort of caramelise onto the top of your crust and make it extra crispy and just gorgeous. And then you're going to bake this at 200 degrees Celsius for approximately 20 minutes, and this is just going to let your crust set. After that, reduce the heat to 170 degrees Celsius and let it cook for approximately 45 minutes, or until those fruits are starting to bubble through. And look how cute this mini apple looks. And you're just going to let this cool for at least an hour, let those fruits just set in there. And look at this beautiful pie. Listen to that crispy crust. just made sure to get plenty of that apple in there. And that's all there is to it. It's a really simple, really tasty recipe to make. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Please do leave a like, subscribe and click that notification bell for more. Thanks for watching.